Whee! Ta-da! I think we're on. We are live. Welcome to another Tuesday. I will admit it has been very hectic. How are you doing? What's happening? Has it been a stressful week? A good week? Who knows? A successful, uh, fun, adventurous week? I genuinely have just kind of sat down, and rigged everything up so we can do a live show tonight. And hey, Bishop, how's it going? Ozzy, how's it going? Nice to have you here. Oh, I'm gonna be like, that intense energy when you just kind of turn up. You know when you're like running late and you like, gotta get this, gotta get this. I just managed to fit in the obvious essential for an Ask Me Anything Tuesday night, which is coffee. Cheers, everybody. I hope, you've got a drink, hope you've got a guitar, hope you've got a smile from whatever has been going on for you this week. I have had, honestly, it's been an amazing week. There's so many things on my brain right now that I want to share, and we'll get to that a little bit later. I have something very, very special to me and very cool that I want to share with you all tonight. And for some of you that saw my little community post, then there's a few things that are going to roll out on the channel, which is great, and I'll get to share them with you as well over the next few weeks. So we've got a weird sound. Ooh, okay, we have some odd audio hiss. I wondered if that does that change it? Is it an earthing problem, or do we just genuinely have quite a lot of hiss? Let me know. It could be interesting if we have a whole electric buzzing. Let's test a few things. Just a second, we'll go in here. And there does appear to be a lot of noise coming through this, which is interesting. That's down. Interesting. Keep moving knobs, I'll tell you when it's gone. Perfect, thanks. Otherwise, this is going to be a very odd, noisy session. What's it out of 10? Is it pretty bad? I'm only hearing audio from the desk, not actually through. It went for a second. Okay, hey, how's it going? USA. We appear to have a mysterious audio buzz happening tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see what happens if that becomes a USB. It maybe there's a little 3 out of 10, not a deal breaker. It's quite irritating. Okay, nice. It's probably different depending on what you're listening from on. It's going to be an interesting one. There's let's do it. Let me know if it it sounds like Sander is going to come for a visit very soon. Does that should mean that I've been good, right? If Sander's visiting, I'm I think what's going on is there is a little loop happening between the laptop and the Zoom unit. Any change? Curiosity? We should still have audio looping back out, which looks like we did. Probably not. He's like, no. Morning, long time no see. Hey, Coach. It looks like we might be stuck with a little bit of buzz tonight because, to be honest, the only thing we can do is I can kill that and see if that will stretch to power. So let's just test one little thing and see if we can suss the audio for you. I will disappear sound-wise for a moment, so please hold the line and let's see if this is gonna gonna reach. Dun, dun, dun. Shutting down. And perhaps we're back. Let me know if it's gone now. Yeah, well, everything's gone. Come on. Do we have a standard, a good signal now? Let me know if that's any better. Maybe better. Perfect. Okay, great. So it's a little loop between my laptop. I've been, as you can see tonight, I'm packed in here. I've been trying to create with what I brought with me down to Christchurch, right? Some options for building some interesting loops, and I'm going to be everything is running through this little mic, the Aston. So that's actually running through the Voice Live 3. It's what you're hearing if and when I sing, and me speaking now running through the Voice Live 3 into the Zoom unit, into this ATEM Mini, so that I can have some camera options and show you my naked feet. Yeah, probably didn't need to see that, but it's live. It's too late. Sorry, it's happened. Yeah, but there you go. So there's a nice long start to tonight's Tuesday. Ask me anything. With the number one question being, could you please fix your audio? We would appreciate it. Thanks, team. We can live with this now. Okay, great. Nice. Yeah, Santa's been doing a lot of laps. It's like a very small Santa hiding inside electrical wires, doing laps. No, honestly, this is kicking things off with the really deep questions tonight. I really should go and get barefoot buttons, the little pedals to put on top of these, because it drives me crazy trying to play with bare feet with these buttons, and I tend to get them stuck between my toes and hit the wrong spot, and I just don't do it very often, so I'm not used to it. But I'm going between the mighty slippers and not, you know, if I overheat, the slippers will come off. But so nice, that's cool. From South Africa, Rhett, hey, thanks for tuning in. Nice to see you here. If you turned up late, that's probably perfect, because to be honest, we had, you know, some audio issues to start with. So now I have a mixer that's very close to me. I've been experimenting with the beautiful Tennessee whiskey, and I hope that out of tonight it might give you some ideas. There's one of two things that is going to happen. Is it's going to work reasonably well. I need to do some practice on it for sure. I will play it for you, a little loop version that I've worked out. Or I will misjudge something and it will turn into a very different loop than I had intended. So yeah. Oh, thanks. I love your vibe. Appreciate it. Thanks. I'm excited to be here. I have had, honestly, if there's nothing particularly in there in there apart from harassing me about audio tonight, then yeah, I spent 3 days on the weekend with Per Bristow doing a virtual event that he was running. And I know a couple of you guys have messaged me that were on the previous weekend. Super, super valuable weekend. And so a lot of what you're going to see shifting from me in terms of content and some availability to actually, we can work together on some stuff, which would be really, really cool, has come out of that, which is awesome. Nice. Yeah. There's no, you didn't make it for today, but if you want to play around, then feel free to keep working on it, man, and put something together. I am going to keep working on the idea I came up with, because it's definitely, I was playing it last night, Tennessee Whiskey, and singing harmonies to myself. And every time I'm like, oh my gosh, I sing every chorus differently every time. Going like, I need to actually listen to this song. So yeah, it's an experiment. I put it out there, obviously, to the goal to encourage a bunch of you to jump in. So hopefully, even if you haven't ended up with a video, maybe you've sat down and played around with a few things. But maybe we should just get into that then, eh? Do you want to hear it? Are you excited to put like a yes or some weird combination of emojis if you're actually excited to hear my Tennessee Whiskey experiment, and and just stay absolutely silent if you want to hear me just keep talking and drinking coffee. Okay, yes, hell yeah. Nice, so many options to that song. It's a go for it. Yeah, boy. That's we can't talk about rugby at the moment, Rhett, with you being from South Africa. Love it. Okay, let's see what happens. I will try not to run into any microphones during the recording of this song. So let's see if we can do this. Maybe I will appear. I'll put the screen on. You can let me know. We can switch it. But it's just regarding the tuna question. It's basic. It's not flashing, but with the signal from filming constantly makes it look like it's going wild. Okay, let's see what happens. All right. Oh, I hope I remember the words for you. We used to spend my nights out in the ballroom. Liquor was the only love I've ever known. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottom and brought me back from being too far gone. You're as smooth. Oh yeah, it's Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. I've looked for love in all the same old places. But found the bottom of the bottle's always dry. But when you poured out your heart, I didn't waste it. 'Cause there's nothing like your love to get me high. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. Well, you're as sweet, yeah, as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. Okay, I forgot to put my, feedback stopper. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. Hey, something like that. So it's a little bit of an experiment, and whew, it's really interesting doing that live and jumping into it, especially when it's like it's definitely not polished. I think it's got some nice things in there. It needs some work by me at this point, but it's again, this is for me. I set the challenge last week. It's also something that I don't typically do. I'm not usually using the vocal side of things. I absolutely forgot to put my feedback buster in here, which means that more of the vocal, you probably heard it, bleeds into when I'm just recording guitar. So yeah, there's a couple of things going on. Cheers, Rhett. Thanks, Ozzy. Bishop. Cheers. Thanks. Hang on. How do you Tillothan? Is that how I say your name? Tillothan. Cheers for being on. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, cheers, Rhett. That's how I'm doing it, because again, this is my gear down here. It's like whatever. That's why I'm wearing the same thing every week when you see me. Is I packed like 3 clothes and a bunch of musical gear when I flew down. But at the end, I was wanting to find a way to drop out the guitar from the loop. Tilly then. Cool. Tilly then. Let me know. I think I've got it. To do this harmony at the end, and as you notice, I'm like listening to myself being like, how did I sing it this time? But what I would have done live typically is maybe put my tuner in an odd position in the loop, so it comes out of the Voice Live 3 and into my tuner where I can mute the signal, and that's what's happening at the end. I'm just using the mute on the guitar track on the Zoom L8, so it's kills the guitar, but I still get that little vocal that I did at the start. Yeah, kind of experimenting with something new. It's been a bit of fun, but right, speaking of muting such things, I'm gonna say hi, have coffee, and let's chat. Phil, Tony, love it. Cheers, man. Thanks. Do you reassign the preset buttons or simply switch to a new channel for a new song? I reassign the presets essentially. So I'm not sure if you noticed from the other screen, I stay on the loop screen. So I'm not this would be changing out of it. I know you can't actually see the screen, but once I'm in this loop screen, then I have the step button set to cycle between auxiliary, guitar, vocal. I'm not using the auxiliary, obviously in this I don't have any other instrument or anything coming in. And so there's a little bit of changing between whether it's the guitar or whether it's the vocal. And other than that, I'm starting with track A being the little egg and my bad beatboxing just to fill out the sound, and then guitar for essentially that kick and snare. So that's track A, and then track B is just the chords, and I'm recording the whole verse and then overdubbing with the bass for the whole verse. So yeah, that's kind of what's been happening. Yeah, harmony was a third up. Tilly then. I'm gonna remember how to pronounce your name. Bishop, it was my bridge pickup, but my guitar is very resonant, so it actually picks up a lot of room and vocal stuff. I have an odd suspicion as well that there is some, and maybe not, but there seems to be some bleed from the Voice Live 3 between tracks at times. I am pretty sure that genuinely is just from the guitar, but I've had that mentioned to me, and I can't be sure. So don't quote me on that. It may be really distinct, but I have a suspicion there is a tiny bit that happens. Yeah, my guitar doesn't have a mic in it, so. Oh, till then. Okay, cool. I'm making up another I. Till then. Yeah, look, why I don't use the Extreme is because I don't have one. It's a very, very simple equation. I got this, and there's a lot more automation in the Voice Live 3 Extreme, but there wasn't particularly a reason to get the Voice Live Extreme when I already had the Voice Live 3 rather than the Extreme. So yeah, that's why. So Bishop, the preset button, if I cycle through, still on the loop screen, but if I cycle through, basically going down means that this will go to my bass setting. If I go back up, I'm back to my main acoustic guitar setting, and this is the little lead setting, one up from there. So till then. Okay, good. Thank you. I got there. It took a while, but we made it. Yeah, so cool. I have the step button set to change the input. Again, you can very easily just change the step button to go back to the step button to, you know, it's a really easy process. So even if you're using it and you want to change the inputs on one song and you want it to go back to the step button for the next song, you can do it. Reach down and adjust it between songs if you want. Just remember, if you do that, to leave it on the input that you want to use, because once you change back to the step, then you're stuck for the next song. So hey Tony, welcome along. If you just appeared, welcome. Appreciate you being here tonight. I really should have made a countdown timer for a little announcement in just over 2 minutes. Cool. Aussie, I couldn't agree more, man. Speaking of loop pedal news, though, the Headrush looper board has received its update, which means that some of the buttons are remappable now, which is pretty exciting, because it's the first board that's really come out that has more options for inputs and outputs, has 4 loops. It supersedes what the Boss RC300 is in terms of inputs and outputs and options. At some stage I will probably check one out. I've been chatting with a couple of people about it. Very curious to see what's happened with its updates, and yeah, as I say, having some of those assignable switches now that obviously TC Helicon does very well with that side of things. So yeah. Why presets versus steps? Till then, the reason for me is, and I use steps at sometimes as well, but the reason for me, for this song, for example, I can stay entirely on the looper screen, so and still change between inputs. So if I was using steps, then there would be no way for me to remap the inputs when I loop. So I'd be stuck either on guitar, either on vocal and guitar. Which, can you imagine? And I have done this, recording the whole verse with vocal and guitar, not realizing, thinking I was just recording my guitar part, and then starting the loop, and suddenly it's like you hear my voice singing the first verse again. So the device name that I'm talking about, the Voice Live 3, is that what we're talking about? Or sorry, the Headrush looper board. That's what we were talking about before. Took me a moment, but we're there. Yeah, so that's that came out last year, I believe, 2019. Pretty cool. I did watch a bunch of the demos and dig into it a little bit, and while it looked like a really cool upgrade at that point, it seemed like not super friendly for live use. Which, yeah, Headrush, perfect. Which maybe that's changed. Starting to see some happier results with people sitting down and playing with it, which is awesome. It's great to see new gear out there and people working on, actually, like you say, Ozzy, developing a unit that just works for live. You can keep separated outputs, a bunch of those sorts of things. So yeah, 900 US, that sounds about right. I think it's about 1,500 here in New Zealand, New Zealand dollars. So yeah. Loopers are expensive, but they all seem to have drawbacks. Yeah, Rhett, I will get onto some vocal warm-ups shortly. There's two things I just want to let you know about if you're on tonight. And one is I did something really, really special for me, and that was I took my dad into the studio. This was a while back. He didn't know. There's a video on it that has just gone live on the channel. So if you want to check it out, you're absolutely welcome to straight after this. It is literally just gone live. And the song is on iTunes. It's a cover that we used to sing together when I was a kid. So it's really special. My dad is singing on it. I'd love if you support me and buy that and support him, and that'd be amazing if you dig it. But I'd really appreciate if you watch the video, if you share it. That would mean the world to me. It was a really special to have captured those memories. And I think for a lot of you, I hope that you can enjoy and reflect and share some of that love and yeah, good vibes that happened during that whole process. So that's live now, and I'd love it if you checked it out. Obviously, if you dig it, wonderful. If you don't, no worries at all. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you all. And speaking of such things, I also wanted to say my website is below this. If you want to keep updated with my emails that are typically every week or couple of weeks with little bits and pieces that are happening, then that's a way that you can reach out and we can chat back and forth as well. There's a little note on there. I will post a link at the end of this live, because I'd have to go and find it for you. But it's the latest upload on my channel. It's literally just gone live while we've been chatting. So you'll find it. It's called Surprising My Dad with a Studio Recording Session. So, oh, cool. Hunter, nice. If you watch last week's Ask Me Anything, I threw out a little challenge, which was to try something new with your looping. Basically using Tennessee whiskey as an example. Obviously you can do it with 2 chords, you can do it with 3 chords as per the original. Pretty simple overall setup, but the idea of playing or trying something new that maybe helps either yourself get some new ideas or contributes to other people being like, hey, yeah, cool, I could try that, and generates a bit of chat. So yeah, there's if you're in the Facebook group, then there's a little thread where there's a couple that have been posted. I will post the link to this in the right timestamp, so it starts when I actually start singing for people as well. Tony, yeah, you missed it, mate. It's happened, but yeah, I will. You can go back and watch these. All these are in a little playlist if you want. It's, I don't know, somewhere in there. Few minute 10 minutes in. I talk a lot. We had some sound issues at the start of tonight, so I'm learning as I go as well. Don't create nice little ground loops between your laptop, the Zoom unit, and the ATEM Mini and back again, because it's a really annoying sound. So cool. Nice. It's just the video on the top. Yeah. Cool. Perfect. Yeah, well, if anyone has any questions, that's kind of the nature of how I set these up to be. So feel free, let's just dive into a few. Rhett, some vocal warm-ups. We covered this a little while back. Oh, Hunter, thank you. Appreciate that. Bishop, I skipped your question. What was your question? There's too much going on. Let me know. I'm like, right. Mystery question. Does it play the guitar and sing for you too? I love it. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm thinking of Bishop's question was, I'm thinking of running multiple inputs for congos, bongos, cajon, etc. Would you just run the audio through a small mixer before hitting the voice live? Absolutely. Yeah, it's what a friend of mine uses, the Mix 5. I think I've mentioned it a few times. It's pretty much the smallest kind of quality mixer, I think. It's probably not the smallest. You can get different things, but you've still got a few options to adjust different levels and settings, because once it goes all into one channel, right, that's your mix and volumes for everything. So great question, man. Right, let's see how many other questions I missed. Right, Rhett, vocal warm-ups. Cool. There's so many good things. There really is. And there's one, if you go back through the Ask Me Anythings, I'm pretty sure I put, it'll be titled something like an odd yoga vocal warm-up or something like that. And I highly, highly recommend it. I actually did that tonight before jumping onto this live. I went for a run, believe it or not. I went for a run, and I oddly find that after coming back for a run, my voice feels unsettled. It doesn't kind of feel like itself, if that's a good way to put it. So I basically did that, and then I do something that I found very, very helpful for myself, and that is, we can do it together now, vocal warm-ups. How to surprise the people that are in the same room, if they are, or in neighboring rooms, watching by hearing you following along with tonight's Ask Me Anything, is basically poke your tongue out as far as you can. And it might look like coffee. Hold it down with your teeth. So what you're doing is you are genuinely biting on your tongue. Don't worry, you will have self-control. You will not bite through your tongue, but hold on to it with your teeth. So that it can't go anywhere. And what I tend to do with this is, first I actually just do a stretch, because the back of my tongue, I learnt, tends to be where I hold the most tension. So put your tongue out, hold it down, and then I stretch with my neck. Be careful doing this. If you haven't done it before, it's not going to injure you, but it can kind of surprise you with different parts that start to stretch where there's tension there. So I genuinely do that and just let it feel good. Let it actually like kind of lean into those spots where it feels tight. And then I would, doing the same thing, poke your tongue out, clamp your teeth down on it. I would cycle through, again, just aiming to allow the back of your tongue to relax. I would cycle through your range. Don't worry about how it sounds. Don't worry about that. Just start to notice if your tongue starts to pull against your teeth and wants to move. It's trying to engage. Your habits are trying to make it engage. We don't want that, which will take some time and practice. But basically, if you want to do it, That's what I would do. So that's what my family get to put up with, is me roaming around the house doing that sometimes. And it genuinely, don't worry about how it sounds. Like it might sound very weird. Your voice might crack, and you get all these things that happens to it. It's quite possibly a very good thing, allowing all those muscles to relax. Okay, I've missed 101 questions, I'm sure. Yeah, I love it, Rhett. Honestly, I think in this other question, I do this same stretch with my tongue out. Often when I'm sitting at traffic lights or stopped when I'm driving, like on the way to a show, it's just something that's I've found very useful. And every now and then I get someone, that's looking at me through the window, and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" Mm-hmm. Who probably wonders what on earth I'm up to, and if probably thinks I need some sort of assistance. But I'm good. I'm happy doing my vocal warm-ups in the car. All right, cool. Grimsh, they chords for Tennessee Whiskey. The 3 chords that you need are A, B minor, and D. If you have a listen, you'll hear where they fit in. You can, of course, leave out the D and just play A and B minor, and that works really nicely as well. So, yeah. Nice, cool. All right, nice. Yeah. How to spice up a loop in a single channel loop without any undo option. Nice. It's basically you have to spice it up in that case by what you play live with your loop. So I would in that case keep the loop not too full. How do I say your name, by the way? Mabub? Let me know, because I'll see if I can get 2 name pronunciations sorted this evening. Yeah, so awesome. I'm just reading your next comment. That warm-up you showed works outstanding. Now it's part of my daily practice. That's super cool. I'm super happy to hear that. That's kind of the point. That's why I'm hanging out and doing this. So I love that. Thanks. In terms of making it interesting, it basically comes down to what you play live alongside that track. You have the options of stopping the loop, which there was a good example of stopping the loop in one of the Tennessee Whiskey videos posted, which is awesome. Just stopping for a bar or for a beat, so that we get a little bit of breathing space, and then coming back in can be amazing. Obviously, where on the guitar neck you play as well is a really, really good option for changing the texture and dynamic of your sound. If you're suddenly playing a picking part super high on the neck, you get a spread that way. Whereas if you play the same chords but maybe a different picking pattern in the same place that you originally played part of your loop, we get this kind of dense sound, which again can be great. That's a different dynamic and change, but then spreading it out and moving to a different place can create a bit of interest, something to play around with, perhaps. Yeah, and do that on stage in front of everyone before we start. I don't typically do vocal warm-ups on stage. Reason being, that would be weird. Most people are there to actually hear me perform. I just do it for you guys. That's all. For the love, for the online stuff, Till then, I don't know that there's a best option. I do tend to, in terms of recording, so just going through the question, which loop recording sequence is generally the easiest? Chords, drums, bass, drum beat, bass, chord progression, something else. I change it based on different songs, but I do set up quite a few loops where I set the groove first, a drum beat on the guitar, and I'll set it for 1 bar, and that just locks things in a little bit tighter than if I set it up for 2 bars or 4 bars, because there's just a natural tendency, and this is a lot of our experience when you first get a looper. It was definitely mine, but I would record these long sequences, and when I hit play again to start the, let's say, 16-bar chord progression or something, when I hit play again, it's like, it's really slow, and then felt natural by the end of the loop. Comes around again, it's like, slowed down. So I was speeding up a lot, and that's just a way you can, if possible, tighten up the loop. Obviously, practice and work with a metronome, but awesome, man. I'm so happy you tried it, man. I really am, because it's the awareness, right? You gain this awareness of, oh my gosh, far out, there's all this tension here, and just relax, just experiment with it, let yourself test it out. There's no rush, but you will find those muscles start to learn to let go and relax, and your voice will open up. That's cool. Awesome. Nice. Love it. Cool. Yeah, Aussie, I do still use my octave pedal for bass. It's not here, hence using the bass on the Voice Live 3, which it doesn't track as well, just doesn't, but that's my option at the moment. So anyway, thank you all for jumping on. I really appreciate you being here. It's super nice hanging out with you all, and I hope you got a lot out of tonight. It was really fun for me, trying something new and kind of being willing to be a little bit nervous, I'll be honest, wondering how it might turn out, but it's kind of part of it, right? Being willing to jump in there and try some new stuff, and that's what we all go through kind of every week as musicians and performers. So there you go. I'm just doing it. It's recorded now. It's there forever. So appreciate you all jumping on, and we'll send me some stuff for next week. We'll go through it. I look forward to that, and in a couple of weeks, I will be back up in the mighty Auckland, carrying on these sessions. So feel free to do that. Feel free to jump on my website and fire your email in that email list, and I'll keep you updated on some of the news I've been wanting to share. And I will be sending out a link with that sweet video of me and my dad hanging out. So I really hope you enjoy it. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. You're welcome. Till then. Cheers, guys. Have a great night. See you later.